Hong Kong is always changing. Old buildings disappear. New skyscrapers rise. Traditional signs are replaced. Neighborhoods change. People change. But moving slowly through all of this is something that has been part of Hong Kong for more than 120 years. The Ding Ding, Hong Kong's famous double-decker tram. And today we're going to experience it two different ways. Once during the day and once at night, because somehow the exact same ride can show you two completely different versions of Hong Kong. The Ding Ding began carrying passengers on Hong Kong Island in 1904. Think about that for a moment. Generations of people have used these tracks. Workers going to their jobs. Children going to school. Families going shopping. People going on dates. People going home. And now tourists like me are climbing aboard just to experience it.
Ride it. Take a bus. Yeah. And hopefully oh man, super tight. Let's go upstairs. Maybe there's some seats upstairs. Oh boy.
Hong Kong has transformed around these tracks. But the Ding Ding keeps moving slowly, patiently, through the middle of one of the busiest cities in the world. And that's what makes this experience so special. You're not only sightseeing, you're riding through Hong Kong's history. When your tram arrives, one of your first decisions is simple. Downstairs or upstairs? For me, there's really no competition. I'm going upstairs. You climb this small, narrow staircase to the second floor. Watch your step because it can be tight, especially while the tram is moving. Once you're upstairs, start looking for your seat. If you can get a window seat, grab it. Some of the older style tram windows can be opened, giving you fresh air and an unobstructed view of the streets. But my other favorite spot is upstairs toward the front or the rear. From there, you're looking directly down the tracks or the city behind you. It's almost like having a giant television screen in front of you. Except this is real life. During the daytime, Hong Kong feels incredibly detailed. From the upper deck, you start noticing things you might completely miss underground on the MTR. You see people walking to work, delivery trucks unloading, laundry hanging from buildings, tiny restaurants squeezed underneath apartment towers, old signs, new signs, street vendors, construction, modern glass towers, and older apartment buildings that look like they've watched Hong Kong grow around them. That's one of my favorite things about riding the Ding Ding that appears on postcards. You're seeing people actually living here. Look in one direction and you might see a giant modern shopping center. Look somewhere else and you'll see an older building with air conditioners hanging from practically every window. Then another enormous skyscraper appears behind it. This is Hong Kong. Old and new almost stacked on top of each other. And even Hong Kong's famous nighttime signs tell that story. When you watch older Hong Kong movies, one of the things you might remember is the incredible glow of neon signs hanging over the streets. Many of those traditional neon signs have disappeared over the years. New regulations, maintenance costs, and changing technology have helped push businesses toward newer LED signs. Hong Kong still lights up at night, but the light has changed, and yet underneath those lights, the tram keeps moving. Here's something I recommend if you have the time. Don't always get off where the tourist attractions are. Stay on. Keep going. Take the tram toward the end of the line, because that's where the experience can become even more interesting. When you finally step off, walk around, suddenly you may find yourself surrounded by a very different Hong Kong, older residential neighborhoods, small businesses, local restaurants, traditional markets, wet markets, fresh vegetables, fruit, seafood, meat, people carrying groceries, shopkeepers talking to customers, carts moving through narrow spaces. It's loud, it's crowded, it's busy, and it's full of life. These aren't attractions built for tourists. These are communities. And sometimes that's where travel becomes the most interesting. What does a city look like when nobody is performing for the tourist? Now ride it again at night. But don't experience the ding ding only during the day. Come back after sunset. Ride it again. Because Hong Kong changes. Stores turn on their signs. Restaurants fill with customers. Headlights cover the streets. Office towers begin glowing. LED signs flash advertisements. Reflections appear on windows. The streets feel different. The sounds feel different. Even the tram feels different. During the day, I find myself studying Hong Kong. At night, I find myself simply watching it. This might be my favorite way to experience the ding ding. Find a seat upstairs. Put on your headphones. Play some music. Then put your phone away. You don't need directions. You don't need to constantly search for the next attraction. You don't even need to know exactly where you're going. Just sit back. Listen. Look through the window. And let the ding ding take you through Hong Kong. Look at the buildings. Look inside the restaurants. Watch people waiting at intersections. Watch families going home. Watch another tram pass inches away from you. And think about how many people have looked through these windows before you. Not necessarily this exact tram, but this experience. Generation after generation. Hong Kong changed around them. The skyline changed. The technology changed. The signs changed. The clothes changed. The cars changed. But people were still getting on the tram, finding a seat, looking through the window, and waiting for their stop. I should warn you, don't expect luxury. The ding ding is definitely not the smoothest ride in Hong Kong. These trams run on rails. You'll feel vibrations, you'll hear the wheels, you'll feel the turns, and sometimes the tram stops pretty hard. So hold on when you're standing, especially when you're walking up or down those stairs. Can you fall asleep? Sure. But this isn't exactly a luxury train where you're going to stretch out and take a comfortable nap. And personally, I think the roughness is part of its personality. You hear it. You feel it. You know you're riding something mechanical, something old-fashioned, something connected directly to the street underneath you. So which one is better? The ding-ding during the day, or the ding-ding at night? I don't think you should choose. Do both. During the day, you can see the details, the architecture, the markets, the people, the old neighborhoods, the enormous modern buildings. At night, you experience the atmosphere, the lights, the reflections, the restaurants, the traffic, the glowing streets. The daytime shows you how Hong Kong works. Nighttime shows you how Hong Kong feels. That's what makes this little tram so interesting to me. Hong Kong has changed dramatically since these trams first began operating in 1904. Imagine what these streets looked like back then. Then imagine Hong Kong in the 1950s, the 1970s, the 1980s, the 1990s. And now today, different skylines, different cars, different signs, different generations. But that familiar sound continues. Ding, ding. People get on. People climb upstairs. People find their seats. People look through the windows. And eventually, people get off. So when you visit Hong Kong, don't think of the ding-ding simply as a cheap way to get somewhere. Give yourself a few hours. Ride during the morning. Take it toward the end of the line. Get off and walk through the neighborhood. Explore a market. Eat something. Then come back after sunset and ride again. Find that upstairs window seat. Open the window if you can. Put on your headphones. Play your favorite music. And watch Hong Kong pass by. Because for more than a century, The world outside these windows has continued to change, but somehow the simple experience of riding through Hong Kong remains remarkably familiar. Enjoy the ride.